The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I want to tell you a couple of stories. The Stipler, Rav Yaakov Kanievsky, father of Chaim. So one time he was in a taxi, from taxi driver, and so Rav Yaakov Kanievsky, the Stipler, asks him, "Are you kovei the Torah? Do you set specific times to study Torah?" So the Nahag, he gives a little krecht. He says, "Look, Rebbe, what can I tell you? Yeah, I every day after I finish work, I'm tired. I'm so exhausted. But I go to a shir. But to tell you the truth, I come into the shir, I sit down, I fall asleep, and I wake up when the shir's over." You know, like I'm asking myself, like, is this really worth it? Or like, what am I accomplishing? What am I doing? So the Stipler says, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Listen. In this world, you may not be much. You sit down, you come to a shir, you fall asleep. But I want you to know in the next world, in Shemayim, you're a general, these are his words, you're a general gadol. You're a big general upstairs because you're doing what you can. This is the best you can do under the circumstances. And you're trying. That's all Hashem wants. You're going to have a special place upstairs. The story is brought down by Rav Yaakov Galinsky, who was very close with the Stipler. I want to end with another story with Rav Yaakov Kanievsky with the Stipler. And this also, Rav Yaakov Galinsky writes that he was, again, very close to the Stipler. Maisa Shahoya. This was in London, and Rosh Yeshiva, and this Talmud, he was learning there for a few years, but really was not successful. Not successful. He's speaking to the father about it. What do we do? You know, it's like, maybe it's time to do something else. So the father said, I don't know. So what should we do? So Rosh Yeshiva said, you know what? I'm willing to fly to Eretz Yisrael with your son, to go to the Stipler, to walk into the Kodesh HaKadoshim and ask Rav Yaakov Kanievsky, what do we do? He says, okay, fine, I'll pay the tickets, you go, and let's see what happens. So they fly to Eretz Yisrael, Rosh Yeshiva comes in with the Talmud, walk into to Rav Yaakov Kanievsky, to the Stipler, he writes it on a piece of paper, the whole issue. He was a little bit hard of hearing. And he gives it to him. He reads it again. Okay. With a smile to the young fellow, and he says, "So tell me, so you learned Gemara?" He says, "Rebbe, it's very, very hard for me. It's very hard for me. I don't understand. I can't." "You learned Mishnah?" "Rebbe, it's just Mishnah also. It's too difficult." "Do you learn Halacha?" So here, his face lights up a little bit. He says, "Yes, I learned Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, I learned Chayodam. I don't understand everything, but whatever I don't understand, I ask someone to help me out, to explain it to me, and I chazer it over, I review it, and I make charts. I should have brought my charts here, but I have all kinds of charts." And the Stipler smiles. He says, "Okay." He looks at the Rebbe. He says, "You're the Rosh Yeshiva?" He says, "Yeah, I'm the Rosh Yeshiva." He says, "Well, that's good. Because if I was the Rosh Yeshiva and you were the Rebbe, I'd fire you." He says, "What?" Yeah, I'd fire you." He says, "You come here and you tell me this is not Hatzlacha? He's not being Matzliach in learning? What are you talking about? He's learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, he's learning Chayodam, he's making charts, he's chazering it over, he remembers it. How could you say that's not Matzliach?" You hear this? Because the Stipler understood what he's doing his best, and he's learning. Okay, so he's not learning the learning that you would like. See, our problem is we always look at everybody else. He's a fast head and he's deep and he has these bomb kashas and sheer, and the person just loses this notion, no cheshek, I'm a nobody compared to this guy. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop living your life through the minds of others.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org